Welcome back to the Herencia Market Update. This is the May edition. Today we have a jam-packed episode with three special guests. Once again, we're going to talk about our power play, our market pulse, and our hometown highlights. We have three very special people here today. One that you already know and love. Actually, you might know and love all three of them. They're pretty popular in the area, and they're all thriving business persons in the area. Without further ado, today what we're going to talk about is how to grow the right way. With growth in business, you need to protect your assets, you need to protect your business and liability. Anything that may happen, may not happen, that you have no idea that's on your radar. So without further ado, we have Miss Brenda Noriega joining us today on the podcast.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming on today.
No, thank you for inviting me. I kept getting jealous that Johnny was the only Noriega on here. I'm like, what I gotta do to get on here?
It's okay. We have to get the more popular Noriega out here.
Okay. Don't tell me so. I won't tell him you said that. But yes, my name is Brenda Noriega, and I am the founder and owner of Noriega Risk Partners. We are a commercial insurance focused brokerage. And so we work with business owners, entrepreneurs, real estate investors across multiple different industries such as construction, manufacturing, and habitational, just to name a few. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. And people sometimes don't understand the difference between regular insurance, health insurance, car insurance, commercial insurance. And commercial insurance,
Yes.
I understand that encompasses a lot. Break that down for us.
yeah, sure. So commercial insurance is for the business, its operations, its assets, its employees. And so there is an array of different products or coverage lines that we use depending on the different type of industry that it is. So every business is going to look totally different from the other, as opposed to personal insurance, where it's typically homeowners and personal auto. There's definitely a lot more to it when it comes to commercial.
Got it. Now, when do you know, as like maybe a consumer or business owner, now I need commercial insurance? What do you think that graduation step is?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are buying a business, that would be the first, right? Kind of like a what's called indicator,
Sure.
right? You're buying a business, you're going into business, you're opening up an LLC, you're collecting money for an exchange of a service or a product. What other things in real estate, right? Like I would say if you are not living in the property and you are going into the landlord title now, that is definitely an indicator of a commercial policy versus like a homeowner's policy.
Gotcha. And there's a big difference, right?
Yeah.
I get the question a lot that, maybe sometimes a little bit more expensive because obviously you don't live there anymore. So as soon as someone is no longer living in a property and they're renting it out to someone else, it's considered a service, and now it's a commercial insurance, or what's kind of the breakdown
That fine
of that?
line.
Yeah, that fine line.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I recently am working with a real estate investor who has a duplex, and so I'm reviewing their current program. Their current program happens to be a homeowner's policy, except the problem is they don't live there. And so the homeowner's policy automatically has gaps because it's not the right program to be in place. And so for this particular real estate investor, it's moving them from a homeowner's policy to what we call a rental dwelling policy or commercial liability policy. The reason that you want to do that is because at the time of a loss, under a rental dwelling policy, you'll automatically have loss of rents, right? If there's a fire, theft, vandalism, where that property can no longer be occupied, you'll be able to recoup your rents. And then your liability is 3 times higher on a commercial policy than it is on a homeowner's policy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so automatically you're just in a better position. And the other thing is, if the homeowner's carrier wanted to, at the time of the loss, they could decide to decline the claim because the owner's not living there.
Understood.
So putting them into the right position immediately is very important.
Sure. And that goes back to a little bit like when I talk to clients who are investors themselves or want to start investing. One of the things we talk about is either you flip houses or you rent them out, right? Yeah. And when they rent them out, sometimes some of the finishings are a little bit different, right? I get a lot of situations where their primary residence, they decide to upgrade and then they rent the old home, right? But something I always tell them is don't fall in love with the renovations you made on your home, because
Yeah.
renters just don't care for it the same. Not that there's bad renters out
Yeah.
there, but
They won't love it as much
they
as
won't
you
love it as
or
much as you,
appreciate it. Yeah.
right? And I think maybe insurance companies kind of understand that under a different
Yeah.
pretense, and they're like, okay, obviously a renter's not gonna care for the property or maintain the property the same
Yeah.
as the landlord, and maybe that's where the risk changes as well. Does that
Yeah.
sound about right?
Yeah, that, and then the other thing that insurance companies care about is the risk transfer. So if you're leasing, obviously,
Sure.
you want to make sure you have your rental agreement in place, and then that you're asking in that rental agreement for your tenants to have insurance, and then you're also verifying that that insurance is actually active. So it's twofold. So it's one is the property, one's the liability, but it's also the risk transfer between you, the owner, and then the tenant.
Got it, got it. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Now, when it comes to the different policy types, when do you think it makes sense? I mean, maybe in your experience, there's different categories of insurance, right? You have umbrella policies, you have maybe something for a multi-unit dwelling. At what point should maybe investors try to go after more aggressive, or what are some protections they could put in place to kind of help
Yeah,
themselves?
all really great questions. So I would say, when it's a 4-unit, 3-unit, 2-unit, it's a little bit more simple. But then when you're going into multi-use, or you're going into commercial strip malls, or it's a manufacturing facility that you own the building, but it's a manufacturer inside the building, that the tenant is the manufacturer, then it starts to get a little bit more, not restrictive, but the underwriting is a little bit more intense.
Okay.
So sometimes, depending on the risk, the company itself will send an underwriter or a loss control specialist to the facility to make sure that what was submitted in the applications is actually what is physically there. And so for a real estate investor, there are different levels of commercial properties, and depending on the risk level, each one will require different underwriting levels too. So some might be a little bit more deeper and thorough, and other ones are a little bit more simple, where they don't even need to come and look at the property or anything like that.
Got it. And it makes a lot of sense to, like, me and you talking, but
Yeah.
let's say to our consumer out there watching, our viewer,
Yeah.
there's sometimes misunderstandings about what's covered. What's something people assume is covered but actually isn't?
Yeah. So I'll start this off like kind of on the first time business or real estate
Sure.
investor, right? So again, it's the thinking that your personal insurance is going to cover your business activities. So again, kind of like that example with the homeowner and having the wrong policy in
Right.
place. Maybe they did live there at one point and then they moved out, but if they never changed the policy, assuming that that policy is still going to cover the same is a huge misconception. And then sometimes people also have the misconception that their personal auto policy will respond for their business activities too. So if they're, running errands, or if they're doing delivery service or anything like that, you have to check with your personal insurance carrier and let them know what you're doing. And if they say, hey, no, we're not going to cover that, then you have to make sure that you put the proper policy in place so that it does cover those business
For sure.
activities.
So it makes sense for a investor, consumer, even your normal everyday person, to have a relationship with their insurance agent and kind of
Yes.
check in every so often. I kind of understand that, like, and I see the importance of it,
Yeah.
but before, I'd say last year, I probably didn't.
Yeah.
And now I see the importance of having an accountant and talking to your accountant every day, right?
Yes.
And then talking to, maybe an attorney every
Uh-huh.
so often about what you have going on in life.
Yes.
And then, now I see that as you should also talk to your realtor as well to
Yes.
see how the market's doing. And
Your mastermind.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Now, insurance and commercial insurance kind of falls in that bucket too. It's like, hey,
Absolutely.
check in with your professional, your trusted professional, and like guidelines change all the
Yes.
time, and what coverage you need today may not be the same coverage you need tomorrow.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
No, that-
100%. And I've had the honor of working with some very ambitious and growth-minded individuals that are either going into entrepreneurship or they've had a business for a long time, and that's great, right? That's exciting. However, I've also seen the other side of it, where there's been huge financial losses because they didn't have the right program in place, or they didn't have the proper risk transfer in place. And so that's essentially my role for my clients is, hey, where are you trying to go with this? What are you trying to do? What are your goals for the future? And then anticipate what the risks are associated with those goals, right, or those changes, and then be able to proactively put into place the right coverage and the right risk transfer program.
Makes perfect sense. Now, always, when you're talking to business owners, investors,
Yeah.
And especially, someone's first starting out, money is one of the most sensitive subjects, right?
Yes.
What would you say, what's one action where people think they're saving money, but they're actually costing more in the long run?
Such a great question. So I would say, sticking with the real estate investment side of the house, it is thinking that you can lower the property values on your commercial policy and save some money up front, which it's a huge misconception. Again, thinking that that's going to save you money. Most commercial property policies come with something called a co-insurance clause. And I actually tried doing the math on this one time on a live podcast, and my math was not mathing, so I'm not going to do that here because that was so embarrassing. But to keep it simple, let's say your policy says 80% co-insurance. Okay, so what that means is you, as a property owner, need to insure the value of this property at least to 80% of its replacement cost value. If you don't, at the time of the loss, there will be a penalty applied to the money that you're going to receive back to actually repair the building.
Oh, wow.
On top of your deductible. So you're going to get a lot less money than you would have if you had insured it properly. So that's, I would say, one of the biggest places where I see people that think that they're saving money up front, but then at the time of a loss, it actually ends up costing them a lot more.
Wow. And I'm sure you've seen some ugly examples of that.
Yes.
But now backtracking a little bit about your business. Now, Noriega Risk Partners,
Yes.
that is you, right?
That is us, yes, me.
How did we get there?
How did we get there? Well, it took about over 12 years to get there. I've been in the insurance industry for over 12 years now and focused on the commercial side for the past 7. And in our industry, there is a lot of consolidation. So I have worked with some really great brokerages out in the city, and they have been bought up by other brokerages that are bigger than they were. And so every time that happens, it's kind of like a new contract, new compensation structure. So back in December, I found out that my brokerage was being acquired. Now, this was the 3rd acquisition that I've been a part of over the past 5 years. So at that point, I had to make a decision. I was like, you know what? I don't want to have to keep starting over every time this happens. I want to have more control. I want to have consistency for my clients, right? Because I'm building a book,
Sure.
and my clients count on me to be there for them. And if these acquisitions keep happening and then I have to keep moving around like that doesn't serve them.
Sure.
So keeping my clients in mind and some of these goals, lofty goals that I have, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it now. I'm going to go ahead and open up my own brokerage.
So that 3rd time was like the final sign.
That was it. Yeah.
And I think that matters a lot, right? When you're dealing with big corporations and big companies, you lose that personal touch, would you say? But the client remembers you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, okay, we switched. Now our policies goes with XYZ company,
Yes.
but where's Brenda?
Yeah.
And they want Brenda.
Right.
Now Brenda has
Yeah.
her own brokerage.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
exactly.
Congratulations for
Thank
that, by the way.
you.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. I've seen your growth over the past few years, and
Thank
it's really,
you.
really awesome to see.
Thank you. I
now,
appreciate that.
if I understand, you're also a hometown Joliet girl?
I am. Steelman.
There you go.
J-Town Central, class of 06. Oh, maybe I should
Take
have
that, Johnny.
said that. Now I'm dating myself because that's 20 years ago this year.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Now, what made you want to get into the insurance industry? Maybe early on in high school, there's something that kind of sparked?
Oh, my
or-
goodness. So insurance is not one of those things you're like, I want to be an insurance agent when
Right.
I grow up. I actually wanted to be a hairdresser, and I wanted to own multiple hair salons. Like, that was my ultimate goal. And so during high school, I did the co-ed or co-op program where you go to beauty school and get your license. So I did all that, and I worked behind the chair for almost 10 years. However, I got burnt out really, really fast. And so I had finished, business school, and I decided to just start applying for everywhere and anywhere. And when it came down to it, my local State Farm agent offered me an opportunity, and I took it. And what I fell in love with was kind of like what you're saying, that relationship part, right? Because when I was a hairdresser, I had these long-standing relationships with my clients that were sitting in my chair. When I got into insurance, I was still having those same client building relationships, but now they're just sitting across my desk.
Okay.
And so I get to see them grow through, they're getting married, they're buying a house, they're having kids, they're starting a business. And so it made me fall in love with it. And then the entrepreneur part, just kind of catapulted me more into that portion of the industry.
So you went from caring for them and their appearance
Yeah.
to caring about their business and their legacy.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
you always never stop caring.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. I'm going to hit you with a couple rapid fire questions, and you got to pick one or the other.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
All right. Cheaper premium or better coverage?
Better coverage.
Beautiful. One coverage everyone should have.
At least the general liability. That's your starting brick.
Biggest mistakes business owners make with insurance?
I would say going too cheap.
Risk. Avoid it or manage it?
Definitely manage it.
Coffee or tequila after a long week?
Wine.
Beautiful. Tacos or sushi?
Oh, tacos.
Now, I'm trying to think of one locally. I'm trying to trip you up a little bit.
Oh,
Los Comales
okay.
or Atotonilco?
Atotonilco.
Wow.
Sorry.
Hi, Scotty.
Who's watching this?
I'm trying to stump you here. It's getting tough. Okay, here's another
It
one.
is tough in Joliet. It is tough in Joliet because there's plenty of great restaurants out here.
All right,
So.
let's see if I can stump you with this one.
Oh my God.
Casa Blanca or Casa Catrina?
I have not been to Casa Catrina
Wow,
yet, so
okay.
it's Casablanca. Yeah,
Understood.
Yeah.
Tacos or seafood? Mexican seafood.
tacos.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't stump
I
you.
know.
I can't stump you. Awesome. Well, Brenda, one thing I like to talk about is kind of like your trajectory, and maybe someone in your position can look back at when you first started, right?
Yes.
And the Brenda that sits here today, what would that Brenda say to a younger Brenda maybe 10 years ago?
Not only to myself, but to anyone that wants to be in this industry, it's very knowledge based. So knowledge is your power, and so the more knowledge that you can acquire, you're just in a better position not only to help your clients, but also just to be the go-to person in case anyone ever needs anything. So in the beginning, it was difficult for me because I didn't want to start from the bottom. I thought that I could immediately be in my position that I am today. But I realized that it is important to start from the beginning, understand the entire process of the client life cycle, understand the basics and the foundations of insurance, and then grow into, kind of what I'm doing today.
Beautiful.
So be patient.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's patience is a virtue.
Yes.
And, you see it every day back in elementary school, the posters, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's really cool that you're a living testament of that these things being true. I did want to ask, if someone's looking to learn more about commercial coverage insurance or have questions about their business, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. I don't know if I should look here. So I am on Instagram under Talk Insurance to Me. And then I am also on LinkedIn under Brenda Noriega. You can also find me on Facebook under Brenda Noriega. And you can also visit my website, noriegariskpartners.com.
And this is the Power Play, and you gave us quite a few nuggets for our business owners and our investors out there. I appreciate you coming down. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Is there anything you want to leave our viewers with?
Take the risk. If there's something on your mind that you want to go for, just go for it and take the risk. But have your people around you, like we talked about, your CPA, your corporate attorney, your real estate professional, and your risk advisor.
Now, you don't feel the value of protection until you need it. And there's always a saying I always have, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Absolutely.
And you're a testament to that, and thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for doing what you do and caring for your clients and the people out here. I'm sure you talk to a lot of folks out here, and just a conversation like this, I learned so much already.
Good. I'm glad.
So there's never
Yeah.
enough time, and I want to have you back. I do want to say thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
And is anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I'll give a shout out to my mom and my dad and my sisters and my nephew and my niece
The whole Noriega squad.
and my babe.
Ah. Once again, thank you very much. I appreciate you for coming by.
Absolutely.
Please follow Brenda. I'll provide her contact information down. Now, like I said, make sure you get protected before it's too late. Now that we talked about protecting what you build, now we have to talk about how to actually get in the game. What's going on in the market? Everyone has questions about home values. Are they up? Are they down? Or the interest rates? What's going on with this war, and how's it affecting our market? And for that, we have Mr. Johnny Noriega joining us for our next segment. May is when the market really starts heating up. The buyers that were waiting on the sideline are now getting in. And with that comes more competition, more transactions, and more strategy. And to talk about that today, we have Mr. Johnny Noriega, one and only.
In the building, in the flesh.
In the
Good
flesh.
to be here. Thanks for having me again, man.
No, it's a pleasure, dude. I wouldn't do this with anyone else just because we know what's really happening out there in the trenches, would
Yeah.
you say? We know what our buyers are talking about. We know what they need and their pain points. And, you know, we have great partners that can help us get through that. So, man, tell me a little bit about what you're seeing.
Yeah, so May full swing, spring market full effect. We are seeing a lot of new inventory come in on the drive here on my own street. I think I saw 3 new listings pop up in just my street.
Yeah.
So it just gives me an idea of the activity around sellers finally coming out of that, winter break and putting their houses for sale, which for buyers means a little bit more opportunity. For buyers, it means a little bit more options. And rates help in not maybe feeding more motivation into sideline buyers because rates are still kind of where they are. We're having that seesaw of, is the Strait of Hormuz opening up? Is it not opening up? Are we at war? Are we not at war? So you see a lot of like seesaw going
Right.
back and forth. One day we're like mid 6s, then we're not gonna get out of this for a while. High 6s, almost 7s.
Right.
Oh wait, never mind. We're back to mid 6s. So I think when it comes to the overall pulse and activity of the news surrounding rates, you really don't have a sense of oh my God, they're dropping drastically. Let's all get into that pool
Right.
of new buyers. So if you're an active buyer, you have that opportunity to lock in a good rate and have now more opportunity to see what's out there. And I think that's what we've been seeing a little bit more on the personal side with our deals is that a lot of buyers that are ready and know what they want, they get under contract fairly quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it starts with conversation. I think I said it last time. It's very important for us to understand not only if you want to buy, but why do you want to buy, right? And understanding that piece of it, of like what the next stage of your life looks like and how do we get there. You know, once we get that strong foundation of information and we understand how to service you best, then the search is actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, and I think I can definitely say that that warning you give to buyers to where if rates take a drastic turn and they get better, then you're going to introduce a lot of new buyers to the pool that, are on the sidelines. But I think with the way rates are kind of steady, which steady is good in the world of real estate, you don't really want a lot of up and down. But when it comes to a steady market, steady rates, I think you have the opportunity, if you're buying this year in 26, to find something of your liking because of that increase in inventory.
Sure. There's always that magic question, and I'm curious to hear your answer, dude. When is the best time to buy?
We hear it every day. I hear it every day. Yeah, and really the usual answer is like you're ready until you have your ducks in a row. And I talk to clients every day that have the credit score, have the down payment, have the ability to get out there making offers, but just themselves, they're like, well, you know what? I have a car payment with 12 months left on it. Let me wipe out that first, and then I'll feel more comfortable to get in there. So it really is a matter of just you being ready within your own profile, but it's always good to kind of get that doubt out of your head, sit down with a professional, and if it is a great time, perfect. And if you're in a situation where I just talked to a client, Jessica, earlier in the week, she's an okay buyer. She can buy, But if she waits maybe 3 months, clears up some debt, raises her credit, can now get grants, she'll be in a much better position. So sometimes that's a conversation with your loan officer to where if you can buy, great, but this is a little bit of a higher rate.
Right.
You got to come in with more money. Whereas if you can kind of stick it out 3 more months, 6 more months, pay off that debt, have a little bit more savings, get that grant, now you're in a much better spot.
Makes a lot of sense, man. And I get folks all the time that, I think they're kind of getting over the idea that the market's not going to crash, right? Yeah, I think we have those conversations still here and there where it's like, hey, when are rates coming back down? Well, let me ask you this. Do you prefer rates where they're at now and buying a home in where the home values, let's say right now in Joliet, are at average sales price at $290? Or would you rather buy when everybody's going in and then it gets as an escalated situation?
Yeah, you run into what's called, in real estate, we call it the highest and best
Right.
scenario. And what does that mean? That means that if you have a house listed at 280 and you are in a scenario where there's a lot of demand, a lot of families want to make an offer, most sellers will say it's almost like an auction. All right, I'm selling it for 280, but I have a 290 here. I have a 295 over here. I have a 300 with, XYZ. So it really just becomes a little bit more competitive, and especially if rates do come down, you drive a little bit more demand for that house. So yeah, I would always want to, maybe get a little bit of a higher rate, less competition, maybe get it at list, maybe a little bit over, a little bit under, but then you have the house, and it's a 30-year loan. Doesn't mean you're going to have that same payment for 30 years, because look where rates were in the last 6 years. Look what's happened to this world in the last 6 years. We can't really predict what's going to happen in the next 6.
Right.
But one thing we can predict is that this roller coaster of rates that we've seen over the last 10, 15, however many years you want to look back on, it eventually is a certainty that it will go up, it will go down. It never really stays the same. So I would always choose to hold the house and then kind of check in with my loan officer, say, is it a good time to refinance? Because a refinance is one of those things that maybe not a lot of people know about, to where if I do get a 6-8% today or a 6-7%, we're able. Is that dead? Is that dead? It's
No,
probably
it's
dead.
still
As of
thing.
today, it's dead.
As of right now.
But then if rates come down to like a 5.25, you're not fighting over that house. You have the house already. Now it's just a smooth transition into $200-300 less in your payment.
Yeah, and just to zoom out of that really quick, now we're in May, right?
Yeah.
So we have the full data of April and what happened and how the market was. So just throw the numbers at you. In 2024, April, average home price was $257,000, right? 2025, it went up about 7%. It was $275,000. In 2026, it went up to $290,000. So, in 2024, that's kind of where rates are about the same as they are now, give or take, because we came out of that 2023 where rates jumped up to 8% and they kind of leveled off. So if you had bought back then, you would have about $30,000 in equity just because.
Right.
Just because. Now, it is my opinion that rates are about to come down under the 6s in, this year if it wasn't for this war.
Can the camera get me? Look at my face.
Look at his face.
Okay.
Had that happen, if someone had 6.5 or 7%,
Yeah.
and they refinance at 5%,
Yeah.
Was it worth fighting over and then breaking down that payment to much lower? Like, that's kind of like a hack, right? You buy when interest is high, you beat everybody out, and then you refinance with low. But what you avoid doing is fighting everybody else and all the other 100 buyers that are coming to the market when rates drop.
But one thing I want to ask, like, the audience, right? Like, what is a high interest rate, right? Because right now I'm refinancing a lot of people that closed not even a year or two ago that had 8%, 8.5%. I don't know if you guys remember that. We were in those rates not too long ago. So when we say our rates high or rates low, it really depends on what you're comparing it to. If you're going to compare it to COVID rates, any rate for the rest of your life is going to be a high rate, right? But if you're comparing it to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, last year, 6 months ago, a month ago, so it really puts into perspective exactly what it is that rate is high. So I always say the current rates. The current rate today is this. You want to talk to me a year from now, I'll have that different answer.
Right.
You talked to me a year ago, it might have been a different answer. So when people say high rates, I always ask them, well, what are you comparing it to? Because if you are going to compare it to 6-7 years ago, they're up there for
You didn't
sure.
do the same?
But if but if you were comparing it to 8%, I have an 8.5% that I'm refinancing right now, and she's like, oh my God, rates came down. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's all about perspective. It's all about what's happening now. It's not about what your coworker said that she got a rate on, 4 or 5 years ago. It's not about what mom and dad said happened in the 80s. It's really about having the knowledge about what's happening now, comparing and contrasting what the costs are from bank to bank, what the rates look like from bank to bank. What are the grant programs from a city level to a county level to a state level? Getting informed and putting your trust in someone, because I think 80% of this business is working with somebody that you trust. I remember even being in the business, I would tell family members, don't come to me just because you know me and I'd love to get the business from you, but the trust has to be there. And if you trust me, great, it's going to be a great experience for you. But if you come into it, unsure, not really trusting your loan officer or your realtor, whatever information they're going to provide, maybe your BS meter kind of goes off a little bit. So you really have to do the research before you kind of get out there.
Absolutely. And there's nothing more I love than a knowledgeable buyer. But at the same time, it's like, let the loan officer be the loan officer. You're hiring them for a reason, just because you know them and trust them, right? I've had these situations at times with buyers and sellers where it's like, Zillow says my house is worth this much, and my uncle said this one, but this other house that's kind of similar to mine, but it's 3 miles away, it's worth more. And I actually had a conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, look, this is the market in the pocket of neighborhood you want to buy in. You need to compare apples to apples, not Joliet to Shorewood, not Shorewood to Plainfield, not New Lenox to Naperville.
Yeah.
And they're finding, construction companies back then and still today, they build a house very, very similar. But just because you pick up the house and put it somewhere else, it has a totally different value. And when I told that buyer, it was like, look, we're under contract now. If you're having second thoughts, cancel now. Cancel now, or if I like to do a CMA for my buyers as well, so they can see what it is that I'm seeing and why the value is what it is. And quite frankly, and I love them to death, but I did say, hire another realtor and see if they'll do it, right? Or like, we're under contract right now, but see if another realtor will give you another opinion. And essentially, it's like, we trust our professionals to do their job. You don't tell your doctor what to do or how to, heal you. And essentially, if you have someone that has a professional caliber, let us do what we do and help you make the right decision for you. But I did want to also touch on what can we expect, man. I mean, we're in coming up to the middle of May now, and we're having buyers now that are going to be jumping into the market soon. What can we expect for June? What do you think what that would look like?
Yeah, I mean, going into summer months, the activity is going to get a lot busier. The movements between sales to under contract to pending is going to get a little bit more. I feel with more activity that you get, more houses come on the market. And I don't know if this has happened to you, but I deal with a lot of clients that are already under contract, but they're still kind of like side scrolling. They're still kind of like, they have their house under contract and they like it, but they're kind of like having their like little lazy eye that goes to the side, and they're looking at what else is coming out. Because with a heavy spring and summer market, you're going to consistently see every day, every week, a new listing come up at a much faster pace than you would in the winter. So that kind of opens up to where it's like, hey, we're still during a attorney review period, which means I can still cancel for whatever reason, get my earnest money back, and keep looking. So if something pops up that I really like, I'm just going to say, hey, let me cancel this one, and I'm going to go chase this one. So I've seen that happen a little bit. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that happens during transactions too, where the home inspection comes out and they're already unsure about it, and then they see like a couple, like, I don't know what color they use, but like yellow or like green or red, and they're like, oh my God, let me cancel because I just saw another house that on Zillow looks great, but once you walk in there, it's probably another story. So we do see a lot of that, a lot of cancellations early on, a lot of you know, hey, I thought I wanted this, but now that it's real, now that I signed an official contract with an attorney, now I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. So we do see a lot of that, but you see it more on first-time buyers, which, again, there's no reason to, you know, be scared or be afraid with a good lender, a good attorney, a good realtor. So you're going to be in good hands, but it is ultimately up to them. They're the decision maker. And like you said, hey, look, if you don't believe me or the trust is not there, I mean, there's plenty others, but I think as long as you're able to give that education piece to it, it makes the process a little bit more simpler. And it's still stressful. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I empathize with a lot of first-time buyers. I remember my first time buying, even in the business, I was kind of a nervous wreck. So it definitely is normal to have those feelings, but you can't make it worse by not trusting your attorney, not trusting your lender, your realtor, because you're setting yourself up for a crazy ride. Even if you do close, it's going to be wild.
Yeah. Now, to my sellers out there, you're in control. That's all I can say. You're in control. But to a certain point, you know, once in your market, there's that separation of let's say, prices, right? There's a certain class of prices where at a certain point, the demand is not the same. And at that point, you know, we have to come back and gauge into expectations. Just because a house down the street sold in one weekend and it was $300,000, your $500,000 house may not sell as quickly. And what you have to remember as well is that when you sell, you also have to buy. So remember how you treat your buyers.
Karma.
Because
karma.
It can come back around.
Yeah.
And for my upgrade buyers, sellers, yeah, let's keep that in mind. And it goes back down to how much are we going to get out of the home, and how much of that we're going to put into the new home. And it comes back down to your monthly payment. Those are the two numbers I care about the most: your monthly payment and your cash to close, always.
Yeah. Can I ask, have you seen any changes in appraisals, like values that come in a little bit lower this year? Or recently, last few weeks, months?
Not necessarily. Haven't had any appraisal issues.
Okay.
When it comes down to appraisal issues, I mean, an experienced agent that's going to do the work for their buyer or seller will know what to expect.
Yeah.
If you overprice it, you should expect that it's going to be coming under low.
Yeah.
You know, now if it's like you do the research the right way, the right first time around, and then you get 40,000 under, okay, that's an anomaly. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and the reason why I say around this time is because a lot of properties that are coming under contract in like March, April, they're closing in May, you're going off of comps during the winter months, right? So if you have a property that had an appraisal ordered in end of March, you're probably going through March or February, even maybe January closings, depending on the area.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that we do have a couple right now that I can think on top of my head that came in a little bit lower, and we were looking at those closed sales, and there was one in particular where it didn't have a lot of recent sales.
Sure.
So they had to go back like to like January.
Yeah.
And I think those are the ones that sometimes you have an issue with, because now with closings coming up in like April or May, you might start seeing an uptick, but it's interesting to see that, because that particular one, like you mentioned, I don't know if it was the realtor not doing the research or it was just bad timing, but it's interesting to see when stuff like that
Yeah, I
happens.
mean, I'm not an appraiser, and I'm not going to pretend to be, but their work is very similar to what we do when we're going to list a property, or even on the buyer side, where, you know, pricing is completely strategy. A seller can completely underprice it on purpose. And now it's your realtor that's supposed to do their job to tell you what the actual market value is.
Yeah.
So same thing. If just something's overpriced, do a little bit, you know, digging. And no matter if you get it under contract, unless it's cash, great, you're to close. But if it's coming with a financing contingency, it also comes with an appraisal contingency. And if it doesn't appraise, bank's not giving you the money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions, Johnny.
Yeah.
When it comes to rate, lock or float?
Oh, I'm locking. You have to lock. When it comes to getting that accepted offer, most times you're closing within 3 to 4 weeks of you getting that accepted offer. I always tell my clients, look, I'm going to lock you in to protect your rate in case it goes up. But you know what happens if you choose to float it and then it goes up? You know what I mean? Your best case scenario, you're going to save an extra $15, $20 on your payment if it goes down. Great. But what if it goes up $15, $20? I think that's a bigger pain. So always lock.
Second one, rates by summer. Are we up, down, or steady?
Yeah, see, I know you gave your 2 cents on that. I don't like to predict. I'm gonna say steady because that's what we've been seeing the last 45, 60 days of this craziness that's happened.
I think so too.
But I think once you start seeing the gas prices at the pump come down, maybe it'll be an indication. But I think I saw $5.30 somewhere near the city today or yesterday. That's rough. That's rough for you gas guzzlers out there. I can't relate. I drive electric, so.
First-time buyers or investors, who has the advantage?
I think it's always the first-time buyer because they have a little bit more option, a little bit more flexibility. There's grant assistance out there. When it comes to investors, I mean, you only have so much cash to put towards a house. It definitely beats out any other finance offer usually, but when it comes to first-time buyers, there's definitely a lot more options out there.
For sure, dude. Anything else you want to leave our viewers with today?
No.
All right, that's it, guys.
I'm kidding. No, again, it's full-fledged swing of spring market. Don't, you have time, right? So don't think that just because, oh my God, this house came on the market on a Thursday, now it's gone by Sunday, I didn't even get a chance to look at it. That's just one house, right? As long as you connect with your lender, you connect with your realtor, they take the time to explain. And if they're not taking the time, run away and call us. Why? Because a lot of agents, unfortunately, a lot of lenders out there, unfortunately, are in this business for the wrong reasons. So you'll know right away. They kind of go like this during the showings, like, is this the one? Do you want me to write an offer? No? All right, let's go to the next one. The loan officer never answers their phone. When you finally get him on the phone, he's got 2 minutes and doesn't answer your question. So you have a feeling already of who you're not supposed to be working with. So if that's your case, give us a shot. We'd love to help you out.
The market rewards those who prepare, not the ones who wait. Now let's highlight what this is really about. We are all about community, and today we have someone very special has been supporting the community, from the community, and it's time for us to give them their flowers and highlight them as we move on to our hometown highlight segment. Now we're going to welcome Mr. Rodrigo Razo. One of the best parts of doing what I do best and just being involved with the community is seeing businesses go from an idea to a dream come true. And today we have a story of someone, and a great example of that, Mr. Rodrigo Razo of Los Razos Taqueria.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, man. Thank you for coming, man. Thank you. I know you're a busy guy. Taqueria Los Razos just opened up, right?
Yeah, we've been open for about 9 weeks now, I believe. Yeah, we opened February 25th.
Beautiful, man. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
I was there at the grand opening, man. It was a whole party. You had a line out the door. We had Jesse El Grandote DJing out in the parking lot. My son was out there dancing and hanging out, man. It was just a beautiful
Thank you so much for
scene,
coming out.
man.
Appreciate it.
And shout out to Mayor Argadelas of Plainfield. I know we're from Joliet here, but he came out here to support that day.
No, yeah, he definitely comes out, and his whole family comes out and supports us.
Really?
It means a lot to us.
Do they come a lot over to the restaurant? And do they?
We see them a couple times a week. Yeah.
What do they order? I'm curious.
Steak tacos. You know, I can't go wrong with steak tacos.
Yeah.
That's one of our staple items. We've won a couple awards with those before.
Beautiful, man. And I remember you and your brother from high school. You also went to Joliet Central, correct?
Joliet Central, yeah. Class of 19, and my brother graduated at 16.
I remember you guys. I can't believe I'm older than you guys. Now, when did the dream start, man? Tell me about that.
So 2019, I actually started selling spring rolls out of my house. And then everybody liked them, so I was like, okay, let's start doing other dishes. We started doing American dishes, like chicken Phillies and whatnot.
Okay.
And then one day somebody was like, oh, well, you're Mexican. Why don't you sell Mexican food? And they're like, okay, let's give it a try. And that was around the time when quesadillas were really popular. So we did quesadillas, and we started having lines out the door. So like, maybe we should do Mexican food. And then it just kind of took off into tacos, pambazos, enchiladas. And now we have, I think, 15, 16 different items at the restaurant. And right now we're trying to look for like a sit-down restaurant so we can do margaritas.
Oh, so there's the Razos number 2 coming.
Yeah, it's a different concept, but same name.
Okay, beautiful, man. Now, Los Razos obviously is your family name, and I got the opportunity to meet your family. You guys have a lot of family, but it's beautiful to see someone so supportive. But in your menu items, you guys do little things different.
Yeah, so
right?
we like to offer like the trending items that are in, like, for example, right now the hot Cheeto birria bombs. Anything hot Cheeto right now is
dude, I love those. What was the inspiration behind the hot Cheeto burger and the birria bombs?
So it's kind of just giving the community what they want. Like I was on TikTok one day and I was like, oh, well, hot Cheeto items are going crazy. So we're like, okay, let's do. Well, the first thing I ever did was a hot Cheeto chicken sandwich, because we've always done like chicken, everything chicken, just so people can have. So there's some people that don't eat meat, so I always try to offer something for everybody. And then somebody was like, oh, they sent me a video of this smash burger. They're like, oh, you should do a hot Cheeto smash burger, and we tried it, and it just took off.
That's awesome, dude. That's actually that's my number 2. So my number 1 is the birria bombs. I love those. Number 2 is the hot Cheeto burger.
Yeah, that one's a top seller. Yeah.
And I had the chance to try your birria ramen.
The ramen,
that was so good too.
Yeah, that was a really top seller as well.
Can I ask why Plainfield?
So Plainfield is right in the middle of like our support from all the communities. So we've gone to like Warrenville, Naperville, Shorewood, Joliet, New Lenox, and Plainfield had just like in the middle of the pot basically where everybody supports us. So I wanted to pick something for the first location where everybody had to drive the same distance, versus finding something that's like in Joliet or Naperville or something a little further. And now Joliet was gonna have to drive further, and I just wanted to basically be able to
a central location.
Yeah, exactly. It's accessible to everybody.
It makes sense, man. It makes sense. I mean, I can't tell you. A couple times I've gone, I've seen someone I know.
No, yeah.
and they might be from Plainfield themselves, or it might be someone I went to high school with at Joliet Central as well. So
it's always nice to see a familiar face.
I always get to see that, man. But like just your menu items and your just overall concept is like one of a kind. There's always that idea that when a restaurant comes up, it's already similar to something that already exists. Not this.
Yeah, we try to be a little different and try to keep that authenticity while also creating the trending items like the hot Cheeto items and whatnot.
Got it. If I walk in there again, like first time, I've been there a bunch of times, but first, what should I get?
That's a very tough question. I would probably tell you to get a couple items. My go-to is like the sopes or the gorditas, just because growing up, my grandmother, she sold food out of the house, and that was the only thing she sold, gorditas. So that has like a sweet spot in my heart. So I always go for like a gordita. They're really good. But like a must-try item, probably the quesadillas and then the Cheeto balls. Those things we sell out of those every day.
Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. I think I went there one time like around 7, and it's like, yeah, we're out.
No, yeah, we sell out of those pretty fast.
That's awesome, dude. Now I remember your guys' journey, right? It went. You spoke a little bit. It was started out from your home.
Yeah, so we started out of the house inside, and then it grew into the garage, and then from the garage we did our first catering event. And then after that, everybody just wanted us to cater for them. And it was a truly blessing, not just for me, but for my entire family.
Now that you guys just opened up not too long ago, you guys have been around in the community for a while, right?
Yes, so we started doing events 2020. That's when we started doing the Latino Music and Food Fest. We started with a tent. We did that event with a tent for 2 years, I believe. And then after 2 years, we got our food truck, and we ran the food truck now this is our 5th or 6th year, I don't remember.
Got it. Yeah, you guys still have the food truck? Or
yeah, we still have the food truck. Right now I'm in the process of building another one, but right now I'm just trying to focus on first the second restaurant.
I see. So I love to see the growth, man. I did go to an event the other day, and they had a bunch of food trucks around, and I was a little disappointed not to see the Taqueria Los Rasos food truck there. No, but I get it, man.
We were previously booked. So right now we're booked in advance for like 3 months. So yeah, it's that's why I'm trying to get that second food truck. But I feel like right now my main focus is that second restaurant.
Got it, bro. Well, just as an entrepreneur yourself and your brothers and your family, what would you say is was the biggest obstacle to get through to get where you're at today?
The biggest obstacle is probably doing something that you don't know how to do. But the good thing that, for example, you helped me out a lot, and everybody with Joliet that also helped me out a lot, answering questions that I didn't have the answer to, or just pointing me in the right direction to somebody that is able to help me just means a lot.
No, for sure, dude. What are some of the future plans? I know we talked about a second location and a second food truck. What does the growth start to look like?
So right now, by the end of this year, I want to for sure have that second restaurant and then possibly that second food truck.
Really?
I just don't know. Right now I'm dabbling into I don't know if I want to stay in Plainfield for the second location or go somewhere towards New Lenox, Frankfurt area. I just kind of indecisive right now.
Got it.
Trying to find the right location, even though that kind of isn't really the right location. You kind of have to make it the right location.
Did you find yourself when you're looking for a location? Because I know we were looking for a little while. Did you find yourself kind of where you guys opened up now was the perfect kind of situation, and it came to you in a way?
Well, see, the location we're currently at now, I saw back in November of 2024.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I just oversaw it. I was like, okay, I didn't think nothing of it. And then 5 months later, actually, I went back to see it, and that's when it kind of grew on me. I was like, okay, we can do something with it. Because it used to be an empty mattress firm. So we gutted the place, we added all the plumbing, all the equipment, and now it's like it, yeah.
That's awesome, man. What would you say is the importance of like local support? Because when I went out to your grand opening, man, it was great to see.
No, yeah,
Plainfield Joliet came out.
Yeah, people I've never even met before came out, and to me, it was kind of like I said that day, I gave a little speech, and it was like I was speechless. I didn't know what to. It was like a dream come true, and it was kind of like in the movies where you're like everybody, like when something special happens, you're like kind of seeing everything in third person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of like an unreal moment for me.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. And I've been there myself a little bit where, you just kind of take in how many people are there to support you. And it's
Exactly,
a little,
yeah.
breathtaking. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
At the moment, I was speechless. I was like, what do I say to all these people? But it just definitely gave me a moment to like think like, damn, like, I started selling food out of the house, and now we're serving 200-300 people a day, and it's truly a blessing.
Dude, congratulations. Like, for me, seeing this growth, it's a beautiful thing to witness. Just remember seeing you guys from high school, seeing you guys at the events, at the food trucks, and
I
then
love
just
doing the events. You get to see new people, and I get to see you all the time.
I made you with some rapid fire real quick, bro. Are you
Of
ready?
course, yeah.
All right. Pastor or asada?
I saw that just because we have award-winning steak tacos. So
Ooh,
you can't go wrong with
okay.
asada.
Award-winning steak tacos. Love it. Tacos or burritos?
Tacos all the way.
Spicy or mild?
Spicy for sure. But you can't go wrong with both. Some of both on the taco is really good.
Really? I got to try that.
Oh yeah.
Lunch hours or late night snack?
See, I'm more of a late night snack guy. Like I'm usually like really busy around lunchtime because of the lunch rush. So usually late night after everything calms down, sit down, relax, and have a good taco.
Now, what's your favorite item?
Yeah, my favorite item. There's lots of them, as you can tell. I mean, probably be the quesadillas. The quesadillas are definitely the gorditas for sure.
Beautiful, dude.
But I'm a little biased. I don't know because I eat every day.
You're there.
Yeah,
You
I
get
mean,
to
I'm
witness
there
it every
so I
day.
eat it every day.
Awesome, dude. Now, tell me, man. I know where you're at, but the viewers want to know where they can get a hot Cheeto burger or the birria bombs. Let them know where they can
So
find
we're
you.
located right off of Route 59, 135th. The address is 13327 South Route 59. We're literally right in front of the Menards and the Jewel Osco that's in Plainfield.
Right there, huh?
Yeah, we're one of the outlets at the Menards.
Okay. Any socials you guys have on
Yeah, so
Instagram?
we're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can find us on all 3 platforms. Taqueria Los Rasos.
Taqueria Los Rasos? Beautiful, dude. Now, in your journey, I'm sure there was struggles. I'm sure there was things that were really rewarding. I think most of it is rewarding. Someone that's looking to start up their own business or their own restaurant or food truck, what would you say to them?
Just do it. It's like there's not gonna be a perfect time to do it. You kind of just have to do it and learn throughout the journey. That's what I did. I kind of just like, okay, I'm gonna start selling food. I started selling food, and it kind of just it all like falls into place. So like if it was meant to happen, it'll happen.
Beautiful. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one thing I believe a lot. And if you ever like, let's say you're looking at a location for a restaurant and you don't get it, everything happens for a reason. It just I guess God has something bigger in place for you, so you just have to accept it.
Beautiful, man. And I believe in that too, the law of attraction and putting your best foot forward. Well, there you have it, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's
It
an
was a
honor
pleasure.
having you. Dude, I hope that your restaurant gets filled. I'll probably see you later today,
Oh, yeah,
to be
I'll
honest
there.
with you.
I'll be there tonight.
And that's what building a legacy looks like. Taking a vision, taking a dream, and making it happen. And not only making it happen by yourself, but with family and with community. And Los Rasos, the family, has definitely done that. So if you're thinking about what's going on, how to protect yourself, your investments, your businesses, what's going on in the market, give us a call. Give Rodrigo a call if you want some great tacos. Give Brenda a call to protect your future, and give Johnny a call to talk about your mortgage. With that, we leave you. This was the Herencia Market Update for May.